Over time, I've seen that you can be in a place and be completely oblivious about what's going on. Now, some people may genuinely not have access to relevant information, but others do. But then they choose to tune out. They may tune out for different reasons, and someone may tune out just because they don't want to keep hearing the same things repeated over time. Others may tune out because they prefer their peace of mind over getting vexed and on the edge based on what they hear day in, day out. I'm Desmond Kafui, and it's good to have you on another episode of Ghana Ground Up. Here, as usual, we share about everything concerning Ghana's evolving real estate sector. In recent times, there has been an upsurge in the prices of properties, both in developing areas and already developed areas. Now, if I say already developed, someone may probably stop me in my tracks and question, how truly developed do I mean? I mean, once you have your basic amenities and infrastructure sorted out, you have good roads, you have access to water, you have your electricity sorted out, and you have good sanitation, I think you're on a good path to declaring wherever you have access to as being developed. Now, coming back to the property prices, yes, a lot of people have been complaining lately, not even just lately, but then in times past, that property prices are really, really high. A lot of factors contribute to this rise, this upsurge, and I would not like you to just consider the prices of properties in isolation. Why? Because there are a lot of factors that come together to determine what price tag a property will bear. And today, I'd like us to look at some of these factors. That way, by the time we're done, you would have a better understanding and appreciation for where we are, the prices of properties at the moment, and what hope there is for you and me to become property owners, landlords, I dare say. Let's get some facts out of the way. Now, we all know that owning a property is no easy feat. It's a pretty difficult thing. And owning a property in an urban area like Accra is even more difficult. Impossible? No. Possible? Absolutely. Easy? No. Worth it? Absolutely. Now, this brings up the issue of urbanization when you're considering a place like Accra. Owning a property is no easy feat, and owning a property in an urban area is very, very difficult. I'm focusing on Accra because a lot of things happen here very, very quickly and then overflow to the other areas of the country. So what's contributing to the increasing prices of properties we're facing today in Ghana? Let's consider the case of developers. Whether you're developing your own project, a personal thing, or you're building to sell, you're still a developer. So when I say developers, it's not really trying to just focus on those who are doing things on a large scale. So you're a developer. Anyway, talking about what challenges they face, now let's look at a project. For a typical project, definitely you need to get your land, you need to get your permits sorted out, you need to get your architecture renderings, you need to pay that architect, you need to pay your engineer, you need to pay your electricians, you need to buy materials. You need to do a lot of things for a project to come to life. Now, even before you start a project, there's a lot to do. During the construction stage, there's also a lot to do. And then finishing, there's a lot to do. And before you know it, you've racked up a really high cost of construction. People think that with maybe a little money, I mean, doing things by yourself, you can raise up a good or a very decent property. It's not as easy as it sounds. So when you want to get it right, definitely you need to pull together the experts, and that comes at a cost. Another factor that is causing the rise in prices, as we probably may know already, is the exchange rate. Now, at the moment, $1 is going for about 13 Ghana cedis. This poses a very unique challenge. Now, look at a property that is priced at $100,000. This same property over probably 6 months or even a year will still remain at $100,000. But then when you convert it to Ghana cedis, the things begin to look very, very weird. The numbers begin to, move around quite a lot. This same property in, let's say, January of this year would have sold for about 1.2 million Ghana cedis doing the conversion. But then as of today, that same property is worth about 1.3 million Ghana cedis. Even looking back, let's say 6 months, this same property would have sold for about 1.1 million Ghana cedis. So you can see that even though the price of the property in dollars is the same, when you do the conversion, the price in Ghana cedis is not the same. It keeps changing over time. Now, would you rather want to have, go back to a developer, you want to buy a property, and one day the price is, let's say, 1.2 million Ghana cedis, and then in a week's time you come back and it's 1.3 million? You definitely don't want to do that. And this is why a lot of developers prefer to quote their prices in dollars. And a lot of them, yes, do not have the capacity or the authorization to quote in dollars or to sell in dollars, but then they use this as an index. That way, when you're ready to buy, you just pay the CD equivalent using the prevailing rate. So as you can see, exchange rate is not really helping us. It's not really working in our favor when it comes to property prices. So in a certain sense, the property may appear cheaper, but then when the rate goes up, it gets really expensive. Not a cool thing. No, not a cool thing. Another factor is demand. When you are in a place and there are a lot of people there and they are all trying to fight for limited resources, suddenly the value of those resources go up, and so do the prices. So you realize that with a lot of people looking for a piece of Accra, definitely Accra becomes a place of value, very high value. And in the end, the one who gives the best price wins the day. So if I'm selling a property for, let's say, $100,000, and then I have 5 people, and out of the 5 people, let's say 4 of them are asking for a reduction, but then someone comes and makes an offer for the asking price of $100,000. Definitely, there's no way I'm going to lower the prices. I'm just going to give it to the highest bidder. This has been the case over time in a sense that, let's say you're selling a land, this same land for $100,000. If I'm able to buy that land from you, the next time you're selling a piece of land the same size in a similar location, you're not likely to sell that land for the same amount. Why? Because the demand is there and the supply is also limited. So then you're likely to sell that plot of land for a higher markup. You're likely to sell it for, let's say, 120,000, and definitely you'll get someone to buy it. And when you add up all these increments over time, that is how come you end up getting a plot of land in East Legon going for $250,000. Where did it start from? Well, I don't know, but then this is where we are. You may complain all you want, but then this is where we are. So as you can see, demand creates a lot of impacts when it comes to the property prices that we're currently experiencing. It's no joke, it's the reality, and we have to deal with it. Another price hiker is importation. And for a developer, if you choose not to import and source locally, that's fine. But then in a certain sense, you may be shooting yourself in the foot. But then if you choose to import as well, it sort of has its own cons. Now, let's look at it this way. Consider a new house on the market for sale. It'll surprise you to find out that almost everything you see in there will be imported. From the furniture to the fitted kitchen, as you can see around me and behind me, to the bathroom fixtures, to vanities and all that, everything is likely to be imported. Even if you're looking to source locally, you would quickly find out that most of the products available locally are actually imported products. I really want to highlight something I've noticed over time when it comes to carpentry. The carpenters we have in Ghana are very skilled. They put out a lot of good craftsmanship. But then I realized that a lot of them are comfortable still churning out old designs, which really do not meet the standards or the tastes that a lot of people are looking for lately. I wish that most of those who we've trusted with our furniture over time would be willing or open enough to take on new skills, to learn new ways of doing things, and put out really outstanding products that we can call proudly Ghanaian and definitely we'll be happy to patronize them. After all, how nice will it be if you enter a property and then almost everything there, the furniture, the tables, the doors, and even the kitchen behind me is made in Ghana. How nice will that be? Impressive. There's room to improve, and I hope that over time this will be the case. But all in all, you'd realize that there is a lot of importation in the space, and when you import, you involve a lot of foreign exchange, and that foreign exchange rides on foreign currency. And what we are used to is the dollar, and the dollar isn't playing nice with the cedi. So before you know it, the trail thickens, the plot thickens, where you see that what you import ends up being a high cost to whoever is the buyer, the end user. As you can see, even though developers prefer to import, in the end, the buyer ends up paying a high price for some of these things. Every developer is facing a constant uphill battle to start and finish a project, and it's not easy anywhere. So then, what's the way forward? I believe that if you look at the prices of properties in isolation, you're likely to get it wrong. So let's say the price of 100,000 Ghana cedis is not just the cost of construction, the cost of land and all that. There are many small things and some, a few big things in there that have constituted to make that price a big sum, which makes a lot of people actually feel priced out of the market. In the times ahead, we'll be talking about the issue of affordable housing, its possibility, and if it is something that is truly viable in Ghana, or if we just have to probably embrace what we have at the moment, the high prices, and try to find a way out. Back to the way forward, I believe that certain measures that have to be put in place to help mitigate the rising prices include things like having a stable currency. If the dollar is playing nice with the cedi, or rather if the cedi is playing tough with the dollar, then we can be sure of a more stable exchange rate, and that way it becomes easier to maintain stable prices over time and not have to deal with fluctuations here and there over and over again. For developers who often take facilities to start and finish their projects, they'll be happy to have lower rates than what we have at the moment. And in the end, it will trickle down to whoever buys that property, because whatever markup the developer puts on that property will be lower in the long term. Inflation at the moment is around 23.5%, let's say 24%. It's not doing us any good. If we can get the inflation rates to go down, even to a single-digit inflation, definitely we'll have more money staying in our pockets instead of them just falling out from the holes that have plagued us over time. If the inflation rate goes down, it will become easier for us to be hopeful of becoming property owners. Landlords, I dare say. Also very important, we need to develop our local market. We need to improve on the products we churn out. We need to improve on our expertise. We need to broaden our horizons. And at the end, whatever we put out should be good enough to compete on the international stage. That way, instead of looking outside for whatever we're looking for, we can look within and procure locally. After all, we are pushing the agenda for buying made in Ghana. So why not? Let's improve the quality we churn out. I know a lot of people have this particular issue I'm about to talk about, but then they're probably tired of repeating it over and over again. Land administration issues. I believe that if we get a better and improved land administration system, definitely everybody will have a good day when it comes to acquiring property, because the bureaucracy, the time it takes, the issues with land guards, the issues with double registrations, double sales and all that will all be a thing of the past if the administration of lands and the processes are streamlined and made much easier for everyone to partake in. So then, what are the chances of you becoming a property owner in today's market? Prices are crazy high, I tell you. Crazy high. And people are just losing their minds when they hear some of the prices that are out there. But then, how can you become a property owner? Get closer. Now, this is off topic, but then let's look at it this way. If you're relying heavily on your salary to make ends meet, It will be a really tough battle, trying to put together monies, trying to save. And how long will you save for to be able to afford a lot of the properties on the market? The chance I believe a lot of us have is, instead of trying to save pennies and penny pinch and all that, let's rather look at things differently. Let's rather look at increasing our earning potential. Now, by doing that, definitely you need to, if you have to go back to school, go back to school. If you need to take up a course, take up a course. But more importantly, you need to have something else on the side that will bring in some extra income that will support you, prop you up, and make it possible for you to get closer to the point where you can actually see yourself as a potential property owner. A landlord, I dare say again. That wraps it up for today's episode of Ghana Ground Up. It's been an honor having you, and I look forward to catching up with you again on the next episode. Do well to subscribe and stay tuned to the channel. Turn on your notification bell so that you will be alerted anytime a new episode drops. Thank you once again. Share this to anybody who may have been, concerned about the rising prices of properties in Ghana, and hopefully by the time they are through, they would be a little bit informed and enlightened about the factors that have contributed to where we are today. Would like to say a big thank you to our channel sponsor, POLEN Realty. POLEN Realty is a modern real estate brokerage that deals in refined and vetted property listings across Accra and Tema. So if you're looking for property around these places, please do well to get in touch with POLEN Realty. The website is polenrealty.co, and their information will be on the screen. So you can touch base with them and they'll help you on your property journey. Thank you once again for staying with Ghana Ground Up. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.